Zachariah Weaver pleaded guilty today in Cass County Court to several charges against him in connection to claims that he attacked several people outside of District 64 in Old Broadway in downtown Fargo in January. Today, he pleaded guilty to 3 counts of aggravated assault and was sentenced to a 1.5 years of probation. Court documents say Weaver punched 2 men, leaving one unconscious, and also punched a woman and broke her jaw. He also pleaded not guilty to several other charges against him today.